Hi guys, how's it going? I thought I'd come back today and talk to you a little bit about my experience on ayahuasca. I mentioned it in one of my other videos, just that it was a part of my healing process, and I'd share a little more details of how that went down. Um, Basically, it was something that really just, I feel, landed in my path. I had never really planned on doing it. I wasn't into plant medicine or psychedelics, anything like that, really at all. If anything, before I would probably have judged somebody who did that kind of a thing. Um, yeah, and all of a sudden, I had watched the documentary Ayahuasca, The Vine of the Soul on Netflix and was really intrigued by it, but didn't think I would end up doing it. But without getting into too many details, let's just say that it was made very easily accessible for me to do it. And the weirdest thing to me is that I swear to you, I really feel it was meant to come along exactly when it did in my twin flame journey, because it made a big difference in my healing. I don't think ayahuasca is for everybody. I'm not really here to like condone it or say like go find it, you have to find it and it's going to save your twin flame union. No, it's not really. But I do think for humanity in general right now, it's like a fast track to healing. The thing that intrigued me about ayahuasca was when I heard that it was like 10 years of therapy in one night. That caught my attention. I was like, how can that be so? And then when I watched the documentary, I kind of got it a little bit, but I was nowhere near prepared for what it was really like. So when I took it, I didn't know what to expect, but 5 minutes after I started to feel it, I start going into this vision of me under the water and swimming and just enjoying it, almost like I was like the Little Mermaid or something like that. And the weirdest thing is that if you knew me, I've been afraid of water. Like, ever since I can remember when I was so little, my mom would have to help me in the bath and things because I was terrified of water, and I don't ever know why. I would have this real anxiety about it. I'd be afraid of drowning. I was always just so afraid of drowning. So my first vision is me enjoying my time under the water and just frolicking and swimming or something, like just having this great time, and all of a sudden being like, oh my goodness, but I can't breathe, and all of a sudden I breathe in and just click, I'm gone. Whereas in my mind, I've always imagined if I were to drown, it's like someone choking me to death and it's just going to be this most horrific death possible. So that was really odd. Like, it's not like I went in there like, oh, I really need to get over my fear of drowning. No, it just happened. It just came up right away. So many things like that kept coming up. Pain from my childhood, anger, towards my parents for things would come up, but then it would turn into this like love and compassion on the other side. Like, oh, but this and that, and like being able to feel the pain and then quickly go into like understanding why things were the way they were, and like why my life was meant to be the way it was, and what I've learned, and how it all perfectly made sense, and crazy things. So my first trip, it was really emotional. Like, I kept crying and crying and just being like, oh, like feeling this pain coming out of me and sadness, and like then sometimes like disgust in myself, or like things I had done, or like things I felt bad for. Even like a simple thing like my grandmother, she helped to raise me and she means a lot to me, and she moved to like an island that you take a ferry to from here, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I never call her enough, like I don't go visit her, like that's horrible. Like, it made me see the importance in like honoring people that really deserve it, and oh, it just went so deep. So that was my first experience. I remember thinking like, whoa, that was hard, and just like being blown away. And I wrote tons of things about what it made me realize, and the ego and everything like that. The ego is huge. You just see it for what it is. Like Aya shows you there's no hiding like at all. It's just like thrown in your face. So that happened the first time. I didn't really think I'd do it again, but again, it was just made very easy for me that it's almost crazy. So I ended up going a second time, maybe like a month later. And the odd thing is, the second time I went, I was actually fighting with my twin, and I had ended off like, oh, I'll show him. I'm not going to talk to him. Like, I'm going to ignore him. Like, it was one of those fights where he had done something that I felt I had a right to be mad, and I was like, no, I'm sticking with this. And it was like I wanted to go there, like, just let me get over him. And I will say, my first experience, like, it felt like he was there with me the whole time.